Hello, welcome to Low-Code Campfire from Plantain App. This is episode number 222 for December 5, 2025. I am Dale Warner, head of support for Plantain App. Today we're on Countdown. I don't know if that's Countdown to version 1.28 or Countdown to Christmas, Countdown to New Year's, but we're definitely on Countdown. The Low-Code Campfire is an event that we do every week, or at least most weeks, and we get together and talk about techniques and challenges and experiences with using Plantain App and IT related things, website publishing related things, and it is just an open meeting. All skill levels are welcome. So bring something to show, be ready to help with ideas and suggestions. And then we record all these and put them on YouTube. YouTube channel is youtube.com/plantainapp, so you can subscribe there, hit the alarm bell, and you'll know when we post new content. We run an agenda where we stop and say hello because we're a friendly group, and then we'll go around the campfire. We always start with first call and anything you've submitted in advance. I've got a topic or two in my bag, depending on how the conversation goes. But then after an hour or so, we'll go into our afterglow segment. That's where we turn off the recording, raise a virtual adult beverage, and begin the weekend with just some camaraderie. So do hang around for that if you're inclined. You can submit questions and topics in advance. Do that by emailing to support@plantainapp.com, and I'll look at those, do a little bit of research, and include them in the agenda. We won't get together for Low-Code Campfire on December 26th. I don't think anybody's going to be paying attention anyway, but that will be on hiatus that day. And we should talk about January too. I'm here and I'm working. I'd be happy to have a conversation, but I don't want to have it with myself. So, yeah, let's talk about that. And with that, I will say hello. Hello, one and all.
Hello, good morning.
And I guess I really should start out by thanking Patrick for hosting 2 weeks ago.
Oh
Thanks for
yeah.
doing it. Was a I went to Grandparents' Day at Matthias's school, so that was great for me. So but it's weird not talking to you guys for 3 weeks. So anyway,
Well, and I think the people who joined us were carrying a conversation through the hour so that I didn't have to improvise too much.
I did listen to that. I had a couple of things that I wanted to add, but thanks for corralling that discussion. So, as promised, we always do first call. What's on your mind? Anybody come with a problem or a topic?
Well, if nobody else is going to speak up, I will. I think Dale, I have a question about a commonly occurring error message in my root log coming your way, but I think we've talked about it on this call before, but I just wanted to, see if anybody has strategies for reining in the the overwhelming nature of the root log because
Well, you went in a different direction than I thought. If we get bored, I thought we would explore multi-file upload and
mm,
initializing because I've never
yeah,
played in there before. So
that
I
would be a
thought
good
that's
thing
where
too.
you're going.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, monitoring and controlling the root log. I think that's a great topic. So can you, I haven't seen the ticket yet. Maybe you
No,
haven't
I
seen
haven't.
it yet.
I'm composing it. I haven't entered it yet, but one thing that I was able to do is as scrolling through the log, I keep on seeing the same thing, and so I decided to really simple thing. I thought, well, let me take the primary line of that message, not anything, something that seems pretty generic, and then I just did a search for that, and in um, Notepad Plus, you can do a count, and I counted it, how many times that line occurs, and then I counted how many total lines are included in that error message when it occurs, and figured out that that message probably accounts for just about half of the lines in our daily root log. And I thought, well, that's a great place to start. If I can half it in size, then that's awesome. But of course, as I started composing the ticket to you, Dale, of course, making a ticket makes you dig a little, and so so just by the very just by the very act of trying to write a ticket to you, I'm discovering things. So
Yep. I how many times have we been that color corollary to that is trying to explain it to someone else. Let's get on a call and talk about it. And
yeah,
I don't know how many times we've had that call, right? Just let me explain this to you, and you figured it out yourself, or I figured it out myself.
yeah, I still haven't gotten to the what the root cause of the message is, but I think I'm starting to narrow down at least where it might be coming from, because that's the thing, the struggle with the logs, and anybody else can chime in. But the struggle is that so many of the messages, it's really challenging to just figure out where, on, I know a lot of us have really, really complex sites, and that includes the site that I work with on a daily basis is very complex. It has, so many different layers, and it's really challenging to figure out just where is this message coming from. And as
So,
part of the, well, yeah, I just going to add real quick, as part of the digging is I took the message, and I just simply I asked AI, but I mean I use ChatGPT. I know other people use other ones, but I think probably the result would be the same. But I just said this error occurs in our root log thousands of times per day. Based on your knowledge of plant and app and DNN, do you have any ideas what might cause it? And I got some useful stuff back. I think some of it is hallucination. Some of the things that it suggests, I think, just don't exist. But you have to use your knowledge of DNN and plant and app to kind of weed through the stuff that it might be hallucinating. But
yep.
some of the information is useful.
So kind of starting out on this topic, I wanted to mention that long ago I did this listing, which is very simple to do, and it shows the log type key and how many times that's happened. And this is over, I think, yeah, I've got a 7-day thing. So um,
This is from the log table, correct? Not
yes,
not the not the text logs.
text logs. Yes, so this is from that I believe that this is uh, driven by the event log table.
Right. Yeah.
And I've taken this information and presented it in a different way.
Right.
So what is that the log that you're trying to explore or different?
Well, I'm downloading the root log, so the actual log file,
Right,
um, which has some commonality with what you see here, but is definitely, there's a lot more to it, a lot more details to it.
right. And I think event log links to another table, which might drag some information and might be where that additional information comes from as well. But in any case, just you kind of ask the open question about how do you handle, and this is one of my ways of handling by doing a query and seeing where errors are happening. If I'm going to go chase them, I'm going to pay attention to the 354 scheduler exceptions and probably not these three failed to install triggers
Right. Yeah.
kind of thing. So this is just one technique.
And I
And
love the
then,
fact that this has more ability to it appears that it has more ability to filter.
well, a little quick analysis. This is a grouping
Yeah.
query on, and I mean, I'm happy. I should. I went to look to see if this was a contribution yet, and it's not, or I didn't see it. So I should post this as well. But um, this is a not too complex query that's pulling from um, event log and
hmm
exceptions. and grouping them, and and then doing it only for 7 days. And so the result is that I can see what's happening relatively recently on my system, and um, then these dates give clues that, these errors are happening. Well, if I can even sort it by this here. So I got 24 errors but it hasn't happened since November 29, so maybe I don't care,
Hmm.
versus things that are happening today. So anyway, a nice overview. Happy to share the sequel behind that. Um, and then you know, it's not helping you today, but letting you know there are changes coming to our logs in 128, in a couple of different ways that I know about. One is that um, we're trying more and more to get the action IDs and the source of errors into our messages.
Mm, cool.
And so I would hope that, and module IDs, and the underlying thing, and more of an action stack, excuse me, an exception stack. So, for example, if something happened in a workflow that was called by a workflow that was on a that was run from a form, you'd kind of want to know all of that. This form is generating errors, and uh, because if it told you the action ID of the workflow that's 3 layers deep, it doesn't really tell you the context, how to solve it, and things like that.
Hmm.
We're working at that, and I think that's part of as we're consolidating in version 1.28, mentioned previously, the actions are going to a PAA actions table. And so rather than being spread out all across the product or in several different tables, they're now going to be in one, and that's going to help us uh, standardize a lot of things. And so anyway, the hope is the messages will be better. Doesn't help you today. The other thing I know about some of the logs, and it may not be um, the main event log, but the other logs that we're generating out of the product are moving away from a text format and into a JSON format, which should allow for other more programmatic processing of the entries, but it also represents change. So where you're used to seeing text with messages, that it might change and be, if you're reading it manually, might be harder to read. So it's a trade-off. Anyway, none of that helps the original thing that you're trying to do. I had a client asking a question about, hey, I'm getting this generic error message on a form. What should I do? Uh, and it was saying essentially that there was an exception, and it was written to the log. And so then there's the, very, if you're in development and seeing an error, you kind of see cause and effect, right? I go to this page, I see an error message, I go to the log, and you don't have any problem finding the error message because it's the one that's on the top. But what you're talking about is a big site with what I assume hundreds or thousands of users, and you don't really
Yeah.
know what anybody's doing at a given time.
Yes, that's correct.
And so where did this error message come from? Yeah. Um, Notice I've done a good job of restating your problem, but not helping you at all.
No, it's all good. Yeah.
So I know some of you, others of you run big sites, and if you have any strategies for hunting these things down. All right, we put that down as in a as a good question. This thing that I've shared on screen, is this something that anybody would bother with if I made a contribution out of it?
Yeah, I think I probably would.
All right, well, I'll throw it out there. Um, just for not that one, just so that nobody has to wait. Let me do this. I'll put the SQL into the chat because that's really the heart of it. There's
Yeah.
nothing special about it. Other than that, you build a listing out of it. All right. Well, so when you make a ticket out of it, and if there's some way that can help, I'll be happy to try.
Okay.
All right, so let's play along, and in a minute we'll get to a multi-file update here. Anybody who came late, if you had a first call, something that you want to talk about, now's a great time. Otherwise, I'm going to just dive into this exploration. So the ticket that Patrick had been asking about was I'm having trouble with multi-file upload and the links that get generated. So maybe I'll just do this as I'm just going to do this as a rudimentary way as I can, just as simple a test as I can, and then
So the probably the easiest way, Dale, would be if you created an entity with a document, a list of documents property. That's that.
you're probably right that that would be
Yeah.
the easiest way, and yet I kind of had a thought about this, which
Okay.
is
Yeah. If you have a plan, yeah, that's great. I just wanted
yeah,
to.
I kind of
Yeah.
do.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
The thing is, I want to switch back and forth between standard and secure folders, and
Oh
because
yes. Okay.
and it's not really that hard to illustrate, so maybe we can do this. So let's I've got a form, and we'll do. It's all about multi-file upload. File upload initialization, and so we'll do a multi-file upload, and I'm going to just call it MFU. Uh, and we create a submit button, and that's really it. So this gives us the ability to set up some files. I'm going to address that. I guess I'll send them to yeah, I want to send it to a particular folder. So let's go to, I'm going to open our files mechanism. And Patrick built this, by the way, most of it. Um, and so let's see, I don't have a Campfire folder, so I will create a new folder called Campfire. And I'm going to create two folders under here, one for standard, abbreviate here, and another one called secure. And I can, let's see, new folder. Secure, and it's use the secure folder provider and save. So we have two different folders, two different providers. One's standard, one's secure, and so I think we're going to see different behavior out of each one. So if I want to upload my files, let's start with the standard one. So it's Campfire standard. If I edit my form, and it's open. Nope, that's extra, not needed. So I'm going to put my form, my admin will change this to be pointing to uh, the slash campfire. Where did I go past the campfire standard? And so now it's pointing to the folder that I created, and we'll add a file there, just one. Doesn't matter what we put there, as long as it uploads it. And so just by submitting that, this should end up creating a file here. There, the file exists. And what's the file ID? Details. The file ID is 2378. And so the experiment that we want to do is we want to be able to initialize. We're handling initial value. It needs to be in a, I think this is the construct, right? Or does it need
No,
apostrophes?
no, that's correct. Yeah.
Okay. So by putting a list of files, I'm doing one because I'm just trying to illustrate without making it complex. Just initializing it there, you get the file appears here because of that. And then if I hover this, we can see it has a portal 0 campfire. It has the full path to the standard folder down there in the lower left. So if I click it, we get the file that opens. Going back to ancient history here. So that's the easy behavior in with a standard file, standard folder. So now let's repeat the experience exactly here. I'm going to get rid of that and the folder
Just
path.
like your, just an idea, Dale. Why don't you uh keep that and just clone the field, and so we
Yeah.
can compare them. Yeah.
So let's just put that right back. Oh, clone the field. I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Clone the
You're
field so that.
you're you're a thinker. So we clone it and we're going to call it MFU secure. And put it to the campfire. I can not scroll by it here.
You were there.
I know. Campfire
Yeah.
secure. I'm even going to keep the same folder initial value here for just a second because I'm interested now to see how it's going to initialize. So, but that file doesn't exist in that folder. It doesn't initialize. Well,
Yeah.
I'm going to put the same, let's put a different folder in there. I have some sample people Excel that I'll upload to that file. Doesn't matter what it is, I guess. And we'll submit. So now this, oh, here we go. We'll navigate to that folder. We have the file. We can find out what its ID is, 2379. And so now we're going to initialize that one. Amazingly, it's one higher. What were the odds? So here's where Patrick ran into issues, and maybe hopefully we'll run into the same issue, which we have sample people is created as a hyperlink, but if I hover it, the hyperlink is created with portal 0 campfire, which for a secure folder won't work. And if I click the file, in fact, holy go, downloaded
So
it. Did you see that?
it looks like it, but try opening it.
Fully did not
Once I,
expect.
there we go. That's, wait, because the format on the file extension is that this is what I experienced. It wasn't, so
The file,
it just,
it looks like it happened, but it didn't.
yeah, yeah.
So let's examine my folder structure here.
I only tried it with PDFs, so I was, wondering if you'd have a different experience, but that's what happened when I tried to open a PDF that I downloaded like that. It said that there was something wrong with the file.
Okay, so now it makes me want to do it with something readable. So I'm going to switch to JSON because I don't want to try to parse through the file format. So let's repeat here a little bit. We'll upload a different file that has text content, readable content, submit, and we look at the how did that not? Oh, it's there. All right, so we have the file. Oddly enough, this is going to be 80. Yes, 2380. So in our initialization, we're now going to take advantage of the fact that we have two files we're initializing with. 2380 will be added. It was a comma delimiter, right?
That's right.
Initialize. So now this initializes with two things, and we can see the link looks good. Click the link. We get a file coming up here. There it is. And, oh.
Hmm. It's interesting.
So it's given us some HTML.
Oh yeah, no, it's not yet.
So because it's bad content,
Yeah.
um, excuse me, because it's a secure folder, you can't really download things through that. So it's giving us something, but it's not giving us the file. The bottom line issue still is that this link should have been generated as a link click, but it's being generated as if it were a standard file. So this is a bug within our software. I assume we're providing this hyperlink, and it should have been generated with a link click so that you could download it. So I think that's the bug to report, that uh, multi-file. And this would, I'm sure, apply to single file uploads as well. But if the folder type is secure, it should be generating with a link click. Couldn't we always generate it with a link click if we wanted to?
I believe so. Yeah,
So that would be another.
because I believe if you create a link click for a standard folder, I think it redirects to the portal's um path. I think something like that, if I remember correctly. I can't remember exactly.
All right. So
Yeah,
now,
but I think that would work.
because just for illustration purposes, I'm going to do what could we do? Let's generate a link click for a file. I'm going to, who knows what I'm going to do here. So we'll do a text box. And we'll say file E as value, and we'll add a button. And now create
Yeah,
update token. Where is that? Say I'm going to create another field up here in a minute. Link. So here's the file ID, and then kind of showing my work and referencing here at the same time. We have this um, core token called file, which has this file get link functionality. So I'm going to copy that and use it. And then we're going to take the file ID and make a token out of it. So that this is, so we can give it any number we want, and it's going to generate it and put it into the link. And we'll do an Ajax here so that the form refreshes. Finally, clone this and call it a link. So if we, this file was, this last one was 2380, I believe. We don't have access to that at the moment, but if I give it a 2380 and generate, it's going to give us this thing here. And if we browse to it, it's going to give us the file. If we click it, it opens. It really gives us the file. This one was 2378.
Yep.
And so same way, we'll give this a test. And it does indeed give us the file. So we could generate this as a link click at all times and succeed, whether it's a standard file or a secure file. But generating it as a standard file is not the answer. So I'm going to take the recording of this and build a ticket out of it and see if I can get our team to address that.
Cool.
So your use case so one of the things that I was poking at this is that if there's a delete option here, so that
Right.
you could
So
remove submitting this.
if they're going to be digging in this field, there might be another ticket I could put in because I had it working until I discovered that the link was not right, and then I thought, okay, I got to remove this because the link doesn't work. But I actually had to have to go back and look at my stack, but I think that I had to so I was using it in the automatic functionality that gets created when you do an entity with a list of documents property type. You get
Mhm.
you to add
Oh,
the
that happens automatically. Yeah.
right, to add the files. It doesn't we don't have the automatic setup doesn't have an edit functionality. I figured that out on my own, but to add the files on the initial update, I I there's a an execute actions in there that runs for each file and basically adds the file to the
Folder.
connection table.
Oh, so
And
yeah.
yeah, so the files get uploaded, and then it gets the file ID and it adds the file ID to the connection table between between the entity and the documents. Um, what was when I did that, when I loaded the initial values, something was not working correctly. I forget what it was. Anyway, I ended up just deleting everything from the connection table for the specific record that I was editing, and then re-adding them, and that worked. So that could probably be improved, but I know that
Well,
doesn't.
and so there's this core functionality that we provide, which for that list of documents file type that or field type. So we're letting you upload files, but we never addressed being able to work with the list afterwards,
Yeah, right.
deleting the file, things like that. So although I
You
think,
can continue to add files to that record, but you can't delete files from that record in the standard interface.
well, under the standard interface, it gives you the ability to drill down into you see them as a list, and if you delete them out that way, I believe that they will be removed from the file system. Let's explore that as separately in a minute.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, just out of curiosity, so I created a show values for the for this whole form, and so I'm looking for this, for example, the people JSON, and maybe I should do it that way. So it shows up as in the secure value. Um, so when you submit the form, you're going to get these things. It shows up as the file names. Uh, it shows up as the relative URLs. What else do we see here? All right. So if we delete this out and then do show values again, um, it's I deleted the wrong one, didn't I? It was the JSON. I was interested in the J. No, I didn't delete the JSON. Here's so I didn't. Um, that file is still. Oh, it did. Interesting.
Hmm.
It deletes the file. I was concerned that when you delete it out of the um, control, whether or not it would delete it out of the folder. And had you already discovered that it did? Yeah, deleting it
It
from the
does.
control
Hmm.
deletes the file. It's interesting. If you initialize it, then it's maintaining a link and doing it that way. So, um, yeah, initializing them there would be sounds like it would be consistent. It would work. The
Hmm.
main thing is we need to get the secure link done.
Interesting though that your error mess your context that they exported still had the JSON file in it though.
Well, I don't think it did. The JSON that we were seeing, it's other JSON. It creates um, files info JSON uh, and secure files JSON. It's one of the standard outputs, but it's not the wasn't the file. Let's put the file back and try again.
Okay.
Whoops. So this submit. So now it's there, and if we show values on that, oh, wait a second, where did that go? Simple people is there. Oh, it's a different number. Never mind. We got to go get the number because I didn't wire it
Right.
dynamically.
Yeah. That sync button's not working, is it?
It's syncing the files. It's not refreshing the listing, so
Hmm.
that's interesting. So we get 2381, and so I have to fix this to show 2381. This could be dynamic, but it's not. So great. Now it's showing our file again. If I show values, that's the thing we were trying to
Yeah,
explore.
I see that it's longer now. Yep. Okay. Yeah, there's sample people JSON. Yep.
And it's yeah, what dot JSON, so
Yeah.
simple JSON versus there's other JSONs that are there that are the outputs of that field.
I remember I did remember what the problem was that I had is that the reason I was deleting everything from the join table was that it was when I preloaded the values and then saved, it was trying to enter a duplicate key value into the join table because it was taking the whole list and trying to enter it into the table again. And there's probably other ways I could deal with that, but for me, I just thought, well, I'll just delete them from the join table and re-add them because
Yep.
the join table doesn't have an incrementing ID, so it doesn't really cause any problems if you just delete them from the join table and re-add them. So that's what I was
And
doing.
and on the same theory, you could have just inserted them into the join table and ignored errors, right? That
Probably, yep.
So interestingly, the secure file IDs have this have these IDs that you could use to if you saved um, this value, you could use that to initialize the control on an edit, right? We'll just put brackets around it, but
It's a semicolon though.
which I guess let's good thing. Let's we're going to learn a lot about this today. I assume a semicolon delimiter will work. I'm guessing. Let's see if it's true. This is also called the dark corners, right? No, it hates that. So that's a very good point. That's very ugly.
And
All right.
and in the ticket I mentioned to you, I when it said when the field help on the initial value for a multi-file upload field, it says that it wants uh, where's the initial value? There it is. An array, and so I just assumed a typical JSON array. And so
Mm-hmm.
I created my query to load the values on init using OpenJSON, and it did not like that. It wants just an
This.
array. Yeah,
So you had to, there's probably um, did you have to struggle much to figure out what the array should look like?
I just kept on trying things until it worked.
Which thank you. I'm going, so here's a second ticket that I will do, and I have this under my control. I'll improve this help text so that you don't have to play guessing games. We know I'll provide a sample of what it should look like. Um, if we, yeah. All right. So I will, if that makes sense to you, let's go back and now start just exploring what the standard that we create is. So, meaning if we create an entity, and I think I might even have one here. Entities, the document test here is one that I have. Let's take a look at it. So this is, you have something called a list of documents, and I've called it doc pages. So if I go look at this entity from the standard low code that we generate when you do that, um, I added a document to this yesterday. If I edit this and add another document to it here, well, I'm going to add the same files that we've been working with today. So we'll do that one and that one. And open and date. Should give us 3 documents now, which is good. The interface, if you do the drill down here to this, we do provide, I think we provide the ability to get rid of, see, you could get rid of documents. They're in the
Hmm.
folder and you could manage them this way, but you have to go to extra effort to do that. I mean, you can't do it. You're trying to do a nice, clean, all-in-one interface. You had a different UI in mind than what we've provided. Um,
Yes, I was trying to do it through, yeah, all in the form. Yeah.
so again, in the interest of kind of closing the loop on where these things live, if we look in files and we have this special folder, no, help me find, we have the special folder, files,
Yep.
entities, document tests. This is the one that I've just been working on. And first of all, if we look at this, the entities level, we'll see that document test, by default, we create secure folders. We've got this secure thing on it. And then doc pages is the thing that we did. Here's the files that we uploaded. If we delete something out of it, like I'll get rid of my PDF here, then when we refresh looking at this,
Yeah, so all that does is delete the relationship, that button on the
and I really would have thought that the absence that, okay, so let's see exactly what it did here. This is the doc pages list. So, point is deleting the document it's nice through the interface, but it's leaving it behind. So if that's a problem for you, you need to know about it. So the delete is removing doc pages from doc test. It's
yeah, so that's
the
that's
relationship
that's the entity and the file ID that go into the relationship table, and it's just removing that.
file ID.
Yeah.
Really, really would have thought that would have gotten rid of the folder from the file from the folder. So that's interesting. Um, so if you needed it to get rid of it, now I'm just curious. I think we can delete a file by file ID here.
Hmm.
Yep, shows the identifier. So we could have done, uh, we'll do this one at a time here, but um, the file ID that we're getting rid of is the same one that's happening in this removal.
I think you
So
should delete the file after you remove the relationship.
I think you're right.
Yeah,
Uh, and why do you think that
because I think it's going to cause an issue with the
with the remove?
yeah.
I think this is the place where I was confused. I think deleting the file would remove it from this and uh, which really would probably be the better option. So anyway, here we go. So now I'm going to get rid of the JSON, delete it, say yes. It doesn't complain, and we force this to refresh, and then the JSON got removed. Um, we have one more, so let's explore. See, we're down a rabbit hole now. Um, if on our delete, we did not do this, so we're not going to remove the relationship at all. I think the delete file will make that get make that go away anyway. So we click the button, the relationship is gone. The file is gone. So that's why I got confused earlier. Deleting, it's an interesting thing. Deleting the relationship doesn't delete the file. Deleting the file does delete the relationship. Have we beat that to death?
Maybe.
All right, not quite. Let's go back
Meanwhile,
here.
I'd say if anybody else in the call has something they wanted to talk about, just jump in and tell us.
No, no, we're stuck here now. I'm gonna put my files back here. Uh, if I can remember why I'm doing it. I just want to see these, I maybe get back to Patrick's underlying question. These, um, when we look at these documents, oh, if you, that's right. Now I remember. When you're using our interface that we designed this, notice that these come in as link clicks. So uh,
Yeah.
if you're using our interface, you could click this, you could get the file. Well, I will click it, I will get the file. Uh, It works just fine.
Yeah.
But you didn't like this interface. You wanted to do it through a form that using the just do it all in one in the multi-file upload.
Right. It's a forum where people are, can come back and edit their response to the form, and so it's just easier for the list to be in the form.
Sure, and you don't have to explain anything to anybody. So if the impact would be you're going to a form, you're uploading your say your identity documents for some purpose. You got two or three of those, and they're there, and then you want to swap one out, you want to delete one and add another one, something like
Yep.
that. They're managing it right where they uploaded in the first place, and it would it's a very nice UI, but we don't handle it well for secure files. All right. I believe we have beat that to death. We have 10 minutes left. No fear, I have topics, but if you have topics, let's do it. All right, left to my own devices. Oh, I wanted to go back. What do you guys think about January 2nd? Anybody going to be here, or we just shut it down?
Yeah,
Probably
probably.
still be here.
I'm
I
sorry,
think
you will be here?
Mark said
Yeah,
he
this
would.
this yeah, this is Mark. I'll be here.
All right.
I'll be here.
Right. If you got to work, I got to work. So we'll do it. We'll keep it on board. All right.
Very
Documentation
good.
updates. Nothing. I didn't do anything there yet, although we're working on getting the 1.28 release notes prepared. One of my episode, one of the local cafes, I did that. Went through kind of the beginning of that, but we're finalizing now. So watch that space. There's a spot that says 128 release notes, and they'll be up shortly, day or two. The community forum is running DNN 10.11 and Planting App 1.28, so it's a real thing. We're burning it in, and we're just trying to get to beta. There were okay, I'm flashing back. Sorry. Jerry, you're here. You're still here. I'm going to talk about you whether you come online or not. Uh, I'm jumping around because it recurs to me last time you and Patrick got to talking about the SQL action, where this automatic the fact that the run SQL action now has SQL transactions wrapped around it so that it will roll back if it fails, and we're adding a toggle. Our plan is to add a toggle to that so that if you don't want automatic transactions for some reason, you can turn it off. Um, the way your conversation went 2 weeks ago, it sounded like you were thinking it was going to happen immediately in 128 or soon, and that's not the case. It's something that it's on the list, but there's no particular timeline for it to be provided. So I just didn't want you
Oh, okay.
to assume that it's going to be right around the corner.
For clarity, the wrapping of it in a transaction or the choice to, or
The
both?
choice.
The choice. Oh, okay. So you will be wrapping them in a transaction, but the choice to turn that off be in the future at some point.
Correct.
Okay.
It's on the list of things that we think are a good idea, but
Did anybody get a chance to test next nesting transactions?
That would be my question too, Patrick, is
Yeah.
if you have a transaction already, will they conflict? And should we just be aware of that? Seems like
um,
they would.
and my notes from so I did look that up when I heard you guys talking about it on the replay, and my notes here says GPT says transaction with transaction kind of works. I think I'm paraphrasing GPT, but so it probably will, but your mileage may vary. You should take a look at it. There was also something on you guys talked about 2 weeks ago where there was a suggestion about using a tooltip in a listing. And I just wanted to point out that listings also have row tooltips, which is an infrequently
Hmm.
used feature. So that might have been another answer to that question. Doc pages list. So there's this, it's kind of hidden here, enable row tooltip. Hidden meaning when you click it, you see a bunch of other stuff about how to set up your row tooltip. So you might find that as useful as trying to put, if it's a
And the
row-based thing, putting it in a column.
and the title and content can contain any of the tokens from the row that you're on, right? I assume.
It says so.
Yeah. So that yeah.
All right. So now we've done our unscheduled flashback. Um, uh, I'm not going to explore community here. We're low on time. I wanted to get to this other one. There's um, I did a contribution, and let's jump to that because this was the from a support ticket. Um, and there's just kind of this interesting thing, and I know you got a lot of you guys have experienced this, so I probably telling you something that you know. But if you are doing SQL that generates a JSON result, um, sometime if the result gets long enough, it will be returned as multiple rows, unless you do extra things, and the rows don't really come out of are not easily processed out of the run SQL action. So you end up with something that isn't JSON, and it will break, versus if you do it with a slightly different technique, you end up with all the information returned as one thing. The the first way was just doing a run SQL action that selected the thing that you wanted. That's the bad way. The good way is that you declare a result and you put set the result equal to the select, um, and so you get everything and then select the result. So it's 3 steps instead of one. Very simple SQL to wrap. I thought putting the syntax someplace where you guys could find it and where I can find it when I'm doing this, instead of having to go back and finding it in some project that I had done, might be useful. So there's that. And then, a video that kind of explains all that. But it's not hard stuff. It's a spot to keep stuff. Any questions on that one? Also, a couple months ago, I did a run through on cache tools where we created cache, and then the ability to find um, see the details of what's in cache, that kind of thing. Um, so you can see the values that are in cache. Well, this only applies to 1.27 and earlier. The cache key names are changing in 1.28. I'm sure you'll see this as a breaking change note in the documentation. So instead of it being AVT, my tokens, whatever, it's going to be something else. So if you happen to rely on cache, you're going to need to know, and I'll make a contribution or update this one to show what it's going to be in 128. But in 128, this thing uh, just as coded wouldn't work because it's looking for that particular key prefix. Anybody working with cache keys at all?
I have, not recently.
Uh, in
Ditto.
Reezer tokens. Try that. I think cashless here might have it. Yeah, this isn't the one I think that I was looking for. So, in any case, the key name changed. If you're looking for particular key names, you just need to know that. All right. Well, Patrick and I got into a topic. I hope it was of interest to somebody. But we spent our hour doing it. Glad that you joined us. We will be here again next week, and we'll do it all again. And if you have a few minutes, we would hope that you'll join us for Afterglow. I'm about to see if I can find the button to make that happen. Thanks all for joining us, and we'll see you then.